on me.
Right.
And multiple people amongst that HOH, like Jess and Eric, Danielle and Dick, you know, there were groups of people that were solid. And it's like if I get rid of one, I'd get rid of three. And it just kind of worked for a little while.
Right.
So
That's the whole irony of it. It's like week to week. You can make it through another week.
You guys can eat some of this if you want to. I made it last night.
what are those,
you.
cookies?
I don't know. Some cookie bar thing. It's all right. It's not delicious. I got it off of a recipe on the Hershey thing.
You realize Jess left those big blocks of chocolate in the fridge?
Yeah, I already ate some.
Oh.
Nice.
I know.
This one wastes no time.
Think of who you're asking. Come on, really.
I threw some 100 grand bars in there, too.
Yeah, I got to those too.
Oh.
You are a chocolate girl.
I'm just
Are
a
you
sweet
sweets?
person.
Sweets girl.
Yeah,
Do
it's
you have any cavities?
me. Oh yeah.
You do?
When I was little, yeah, a whole lot.
But yeah, I appreciate your comment. I've grateful. I mentioned this in there. Will Thou Kill Me? I've had a great moment with you. These last few days have definitely. I appreciate the boost me ups because I'm coming into a shitstorm pretty soon.
Oh yeah.
I'd love to perform well, and I'd love to be in the end. And when you're there, being like,
You're right.
up?
Yeah, I will. I absolutely will.
But I appreciate it. I've had good times. And I always said that, like, from the beginning. It's like, you know, people think that we had our differences or whatever. I never had any problems. I mean, the things that you had with me were things that, like, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. If I'm doing things that I'm not supposed to or whatever, or coming off the wrong way, or even if I was, but I didn't know, sorry. I mean, I like to think that I lead by example. I like to think that I've been brought up pretty well. And it's so funny because, like, they both would always be like, she hates you. And then, like, Eric would be like, she hates you. She's going crazy right now. Oh, that was another thing. So when you were on the block, he pulls me aside and he's like, Jamaica's going home this week, right? This was before he knew that this was before Eric knew that I knew and they knew that we were sending Jessica home. And he's like, she's going crazy. I'm like, I don't know anything about that.
See, it's just what constitutes as crazy. Danielle
Like you're freaking out or something, and I was like,
that never happened.
I'm like, I don't know anything about that. She's like, but she's going home, right? I'm like, yeah, I guess. I'm like, you gotta talk to them. I'm like, I'm just the HOH. And they're like, oh, okay. But
Danielle said that I was throwing shoes in my bag. No. No.
oh,
Smells weird in here. What is that? Pasta?
Yeah.
I got
Ranch.
the garlic sauce thing going too.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
I see they took the middle camera out of there.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Wonder what that's.
Yeah.
Is that just because, or they don't need it anymore, or? I had a neighbor who was who worked on the Survivor film crew. And yeah. I'd sit there and do as many acting gigs as I could, and then I'd file for unemployment and take the unemployment insurance check based on the percentage of money that I made. And because of being out here, I'm sure it's the same where you are, just like rent is like ridiculous.
Yeah.
So doing whatever. I could.
How can you throw shoes? You have everybody has to not strategically, but like literally pack compact. So how can I throw shoes and continue packing that way? That doesn't even make sense. I had to line up everything so I could pack it in, so I could fit everything. You seen my suitcase? I ain't throwing nothing in there. You had to.
You don't got no room in there.
Thank you. I'm like, and her dad, I think it was 2 nights ago. They were sitting here, and Edie says, "I heard you lost it." I was like, "What are you talking about?"
What Eric said. Eric's like, she's crazy. I'm like,
No, but this is just 2 nights ago.
Oh,
and
right.
I'm like, what are you talking about? And he was like, yeah, when you thought you were going home, you lost it. You were going crazy. I'm like, what are you talking about? Throwing shoes and stomping around in the room. I said, I looked right over to Danielle, and Danielle was like, Danielle, that's a lie.
But I
said,
heard.
that's not true.
But see, then when we were all out there, and he goes, and I was leaving at the beginning of this conversation, he goes something like, yeah, you were more upset when you were on the block than you are now.
Mm-hmm.
If you know that it's, I don't know. I find that just.
How could it be any other way? What am I going to be upset about?
Right. How does. But see, for instance, like, I mean, and I've mentioned it countless times, they're hypocrites.
Mm-hmm.
They're people that, like, oh,